Just to let you know, this video is going to be telling you spoilers. So spoiler alert. If you've not seen The Batman, don't watch this video. Watch it after you've seen The Batman, and then it will be okay. If you watch it before you've seen The Batman, you're going to learn things that are in the film which could spoil it for you. So don't watch it if you've not seen The Batman. And if you've not seen The Batman, I recommend you go and see it. Hi everybody, and I have to stop this video, the review of Batman, The Batman, temporarily, because we need to discuss what's gone on with the actor Will Smith.
What possessed you? We're all shocked, all of us. Young Glue?
Will Smith, the actor, rapper, comedian Will Smith, because he hit or smacked Chris Rock in the face in the Oscars on a world stage. It's been talked about everywhere now, and I think I need to wade in on the subject because it's an important one, isn't it? Very, very serious, and it's an assault, isn't it, on a person in his place of work. Really serious, I think. Now, there was some good comments made about it. Very good comments made about it, and one such comment is from Candice Owen. She's an author and she's a well-known political commentator in the United States. But she did make some very, very good comments, which I'm going to play a little bit of what she said.
A truer assessment of what we observed on that Oscars stage. For the first time, we saw the real Will Smith. Not a Fresh Prince, not a survivor of a zombie apocalypse in I Am Legend, not a crime-fighting cop in the movie Bad Boys or the Hancock superhero, but the real Will Smith, an incredibly broken man and the residual product of a directionless society that is filled with them. The kind of society that produces men that look to their more domineering wives with their tails planted firmly between their legs for instruction on what and who they ought to be in every room. The truth is that off the big screen, Will Smith has been spiritually annihilated by his wife. Don't forget, it was Jada Pinkett Smith who openly shared with the world how she cheated on her husband, remember? And with who? Her son's friend. Yeah, Jada carried out an extramarital affair with a young man who was at first friends with her son. Then she dragged her puppy dog husband out onto the world stage and told the public while making him sit through it, listen to it, and agree that she had the right to do what she did. Don't believe me? Take a look yourself.
During that time, launched into an interaction with August. What do you feel like you were looking for?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
I feel like that husband, like I'm with you at the press conference. I'm that husband, now I gotta be with you at the press conference while you like tell the world about your transgressions.
Well,
like, I love my baby. I'm gonna stand by my baby no matter what.
Well, you know, I definitely understand why it would look that way or feel that way, but I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all.
The takeaway from this interview was that they together represented some newer, more progressive form of what it means to be in a marriage, which is to say, not being in a real marriage at all.
Now, as Candy said, a very strong comment, she said, not being in a real marriage at all. She obliterated Will Smith, really. And her comments, you know, you can't really, you can't argue what she said, can you? I mean, it's a bit harsh, you know, but what she said made a lot of sense as far as I'm concerned. She definitely made some good points. Now, I just want to listen to a little bit more what she says, because it's spot on, really. It can't, what can I say? I mean, let me just play a little bit more of the clip for you.
Will Smith today is someone who should be pitied, not prosecuted in a courtroom or even persecuted in the public eye, but pitied by every person who has the clarity to see how our society, as sponsored by the perversion of these Hollywood types, is falling apart. Will Smith is what Jordan Peterson cautions against. He's nothing more than a casualty in the great war against masculinity. G.I. Jane, by the way, for those of you who haven't seen the 1997 movie, tells the story of a woman being integrated into the all-male space of the United States military. It is the inspired tale of the loss of one woman's femininity to meet the grueling physical demands of the more masculine environment that she finds herself in. And so, though perhaps not the punchline that Chris Rock had intended, I have to agree that yes, Jada Pinkett would be the perfect individual to play that role in the remake. And not because of her hair, obviously, but because of her success in stripping her husband of any trace understanding of what it means to be a real man. And let me tell you, Will, it isn't slapping a man across the face because your wife tells you to. I'm sorry to say that real manhood is not won on a stage at the Oscars with a meaningless trophy. Rather, real manhood begins and ends in your own household. It starts with the first step of being able to accurately identify what a good man, what a good woman, and what a good, meaningful relationship even is. And with that, we wish you luck, Will, on your real-life pursuit of happiness.
At the end, she wished him luck with his real-life pursuit of happiness. Brilliant ending to a great commentary there. And, you know, well, really, I'm sorry, it's just, I know, the way she just, that's called obliteration, basically. That's what it's called. But people have been talking about it, and some people have been clever in using it as a way to get more people looking at their webpage. For example, one UK newspaper had this headline: Royal family William and Kate overwhelmed by remorse after slap in face. Now, when you read the article, it's nothing to do with Will Smith and the Oscars, which of course they didn't say it was, they just said slap in the face, but they knew that would, of course, that would get the traction on their webpage. And then later on it talks about in the article someone from a country that, or island that they were visiting, making the point that their visit, the tour, according to how he views the tour, it's a slap in the face to that particular person because they don't want the royals to come to their island. And obviously that's their view of that. And it was just sort of put in a certain way to get the attraction there. So people are using it, aren't they, as well? But it's a great story, isn't it, really? It's amazing, you know, everyone's talking about it. I was talking to I remember I was talking to a young man and he was saying how disgusted he was about it. It's terrible, you know, what happened there. There's been a number of comments made. You know, it's a big one, isn't it? It's massive, really. It's what can I say? Listen, what can I say? What can I say? It's massive. Now we're going to listen to what Fox News presenter said, and this person is Judge Janine. I think that's what we should call her, Judge anyway. She's on the Fox 5, and she makes some comments which are worth listening to.
What do I think? Yeah, I think that the Oscars are not the hood. I think it's not a bar. I don't think you march up on stage because a guy makes a joke of your wife, which honestly I think is complimentary. She could do G.I. Jane too. She's good. Jada Smith she's got a fabulous body and she's beautiful, as was Demi Moore in that film. But aside from all that, in the middle of an event where people are going to get awards in their chosen profession, that this guy takes it upon himself to disrupt the event, to go up on stage, to commit violence on stage, then come back and curse out. So we can't even put on television what he says because he feels slighted about a joke, which most people, and by the way, if that's a standard, I should go to Saturday Night Live and really go crazy over there.
Yeah.
All right, but he doesn't have the right, and the public should not have to be subjected to that. I don't want, if I had little kids, my kids seeing that kind of thing. And let me tell you something else. You talk about criminal privilege, you talk about celebrity privilege, that guy has it. He wasn't walked out of the Oscars. He could have been taken out in cuffs. That was a crime, what he did. It's on tape. And it doesn't matter if Chris Rock doesn't want to file charges. It is the people of the state of California versus Will Smith. And Hollywood, though, proves that they don't have to follow the rules. If you're on the right and you say something they don't like, then they can respond with violence. And I think, by the way, Piers, to follow up on what you said, I think the guy's an emotional wreck. He goes from cursing to fighting to crying to, I mean, what is wrong with him? And the Academy should not condone it. And honestly, he shouldn't be allowed to come to the Academies again. Look,
Judge Janine Pirro, yeah, she made some good comments. So those are the comments of Judge Janine Pirro. She made some really good comments there, and most people with most people would agree with those comments because obviously what she said was spot on. Really, what he did was criminal act, wasn't it? Now, I personally would say to Will, wish him the best, and hopefully he can get help because he's got enough financially to see a help, to get some sort of help. He does need help, doesn't he? Because he is obviously going through a really difficult time. It isn't easy when you go through difficulty. But what about the other guy? What about Chris Rock? You know, he was attacked, wasn't he? And you know, bullied. Really, that's bullying at work, isn't it? He's at his place of work and he's being bullied, and the person that's bullying him is physically bigger than him as well. So Chris Rock needs recognition, doesn't he? Because he was very professional, wasn't he, in the way he dealt with it? Very professional. It's a credit to his profession, really. But nobody should be subjected to violence in the workplace in particular. It's a terrible thing to happen in, say, in front of millions of people. And the other thing you've got to remember as well is, now it's on the internet. Now that slap's on the internet, it's going to be there forever. It's never going to be deleted. It's going to be surrounding us forever. People might start to forget after a few years, but it's always going to be there. So really, Chris Rock should have pressed charge, in my opinion, because the way he was, it's almost like Mr. Smith was trying to humiliate him as well, wasn't it? So to me, Chris Rock should definitely press charge. If he's got a lot of money, which he's got a lot of money, Chris Rock, hasn't he? He doesn't need to sue him for money, but he could sue him for a large amount of money, and then Chris could give that money to his favourite charity, so he could do it that way. But there does need to be obviously some sort of penalty, doesn't there, really, for what's happened there? Because people need to be discouraged from using violence against those they don't agree with. Lots of people disagree with me. I'm not going to go up and crack him in the face, you know. You know, there's others I've seen over the years that I just want to be violent towards people that don't have a different opinion. But it's not the way to go, is it, really? And it's certainly not the right signal to send out to young people. Jim Carrey, he made a great comment, didn't he? Jim Carrey made some good comments. Let's listen to Jim Carrey and what he said regarding the assault.
What did you think as you watched it unfold, and then what happened after?
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you know, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
No, I agree. I think we all agree on that. I just thought, Jim, that it escalated to that. You know what I mean? That it escalated to that level.
It didn't escalate. It came out of nowhere because Will has something going on inside him that's frustrated, and I wish him the best. I really do. I don't, you know, I don't have anything against Will Smith. He's done great things. But that was not a good moment. It cast a pall over everybody's shining moment last night. You know, a lot of people worked really hard to get to that place and to have their moment in the sun and to get their award for the really hard work they did. And it is no mean feat to go through all the stuff you have to go through when you're nominated for an Oscar. It's a gauntlet of devotion that you have to do. And you know, it was just a selfish moment to cast a pall over the whole thing.
So Jim Carrey, rightly, he said he was sickened. And it's true, it was a sickening thing to do. Sickening act, wasn't it, really? So we do wish Chris the best, and we know that is, from what I've heard of some media reports, that he's done well with his stand-up shows in terms of the ticket sales. That's a good thing. But really, the fact that it was assaulted at work, I think it should be really taken seriously, because nobody should be assaulted for what they believe or who they are for being their authentic self. Nobody should be attacked for being themselves, for doing their job. You know, imagine a guy from Amazon came to your house and delivered a parcel. You went banging his face and went, "Oh, why did you do that?" He went, "Because you didn't deliver the parcel." Well, obviously you wouldn't do that, would you? You know, he's doing his job. You wouldn't. It's the same with a comedian. The comedian's doing his job, and you bang. It's well out of order, isn't it? Well out of order, that. Anyway, what I'm going to finish off this video, I'm going to just say that the Batman review video will be on another video. I'll just repost it because the Batman review is still there, but I just thought I had to come in on it and kind of jump in and just talk about this Will Smith, because the guy, you know, what he did there, and you know, I used to like Will Smith. Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, with family laughing and joking about Will Smith, and I liked him in Independence Day and some of his other good stuff he did. What other film that he did? He did a few good little bits and pieces, didn't he? Some good films. But you know, what he's done now, really, I just hope he gets some help, and I hope he gets some help for his mental health, because there's some problem there. But it's a big one, isn't it, this storyline? To be honest, I don't think this slap storyline is going to go away anytime soon. It's going to carry on because it's got a lot of traction, and people are going to keep talking about it, because it's massive. I think it's one of the biggest events for years, and like many have said, I wouldn't even know the Oscars was on. Lots of people said in the comment section on YouTube, many people were saying this. If it weren't for the slap, I wouldn't even have known the Oscars was on. And honestly, I wouldn't even have known. Most people are not interested in the Oscars, really. I'm not interested in the Oscars. You know, most people are not interested, but because of that incident, it really elevated the Oscars and got people interested in the Oscars again. So, I know some people think it was a hoax because of that reason. But I don't think it was a hoax, because when you watch the whole video and you hear the way Will Smith's talking, he's shouting his head off, screaming and ranting his filthy language at Chris Rock, there's no way that's a hoax way Will Smith was acting towards Chris Rock. In fact, if that was a hoax, in my opinion, Will Smith would definitely deserve an Oscar because it's not a hoax. It's definitely not a hoax. Anyway, like I said, I'll put the Batman review on next as the next video. But this video was originally with a Batman review. Because of the Will Smith situation, I decided to do this video. So the next one will be the Batman review in its entirety. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification, click on the notification button, because whenever I post a new video, you'll be the first to know. Thank you for watching.